Hi, welcome to the More Than Real Estate podcast, where we talk about building a real estate business and a life you actually love. I'm Ashley Walker, a mama, wife to my best friend, top producing real estate agent, and real estate coach who believes your business should work for your life and not the other way around. This podcast isn't going to be just about selling houses. We're going to be talking about real life too, balancing motherhood and business, building a brand that feels exactly like you. We touch on topics like motherhood, money mindset, marriage, mental health, some woo-woo conversations, and the future of real estate. I'm bringing you real conversations, real strategies, and real stories. No fluff, no fake highlight reels here. If you're ready for an honest, open conversation about what it actually takes to build a business and a life you're proud of, you're in the right place, my friend. Let's get into it. Today on the More Than Real Estate podcast, we have a special guest, Karina. She is an agent who relocated from California to North Carolina, and she took the course Socially Sold back in March of this year, so March of 2025. And she was just dedicated to help a past version of herself, which I think can work really, really nicely. And so today we're going to hear Karina's story. She's also going to give us some tidbits and tips and advice on how to get your Instagram up and off the ground. When I think about Karina, I think about an agent who is doing a lot of things, being a mom, wanting to build a business in a new city that she doesn't really have a sphere of influence with, or she might at this point, but she moved here and didn't know a ton of people, right? And so that can scare a lot of people and it would make them not get their license. And so you're going to hear from Karina today on how she was able to leverage her Instagram in a brand new city to build her real estate portfolio and what she would do if she was going to do it over again. Karina, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit and tell anything that you want to tell the audience, that would be amazing.
Absolutely. So, hey, Ashley, thanks so much for having me today. I'm Karina Akouka, and I am based out of Cary, North Carolina. I moved out here about 4 years ago from the Bay Area in California. And just like Ashley said, I had no sphere of influence. I absolutely knew nobody before I moved here. And I'm sure we'll get into this a little bit more, but I transitioned from a 20-year career in social work. So I was brand new to real estate and starting a brand new business in a brand new state, knowing no one.
That's a little intimidating,
to say the least.
Yeah. A lot of agents listening are going, okay, I thought I had it bad. Karina had it worse. It gives that perspective of I need to get myself in check. I need to just go and do the thing, right?
Right. I will say, one of the things, the foundation that I had was I had started a private practice here. I worked with postpartum moms as a therapist. And so I had experience building a business. So there was some leverage that I had in that regard. And what I needed was really just how to hone in my marketing. That's the biggest piece in real estate that I didn't know as a new agent.
100%. Okay. So when did you get my license?
In 2023.
Okay. And so in 2023, where was the majority of your business 2023, 2024 before you took the course?
So I will be totally honest. I didn't close a single house my first year in real estate.
I think that's totally normal though.
It is. And I learned that later. I had joined a team that was local to me and I realized that I wasn't finding, I'm the kind of person that you will give me the tools, I will run with the tools and I will
100%.
do the thing. I'm very driven. And so if I have some guidance and some direction, then I can take that and run with it. And I was finding that that is not the way things work in real estate when you're a brand new agent. And it's really about surrounding yourself with the right coaches, the right people that are going to really help you move the business forward. So that first year, I didn't sell anything.
I think people think all we do is show pretty houses, but what they don't understand is that you have to get the client to show the pretty house too. And
That's exactly right.
The bulk of it. I have a buyer's agent. His name's Nathan. He's great. But when I think of in terms of our strengths, my strength is getting the lead. His strength is handling and managing the process in the system and the workflow from going under contract to closed. We have different strengths. I'm not saying I can't do that. And I'm not saying he can't lead generate. But when we work in our zone of genius, I'm typically better at getting the leads. He's typically better at running the back end of it. And so whenever I think about an agent like you who kind of has to be both, at the beginning, you kind of have to be good at both. But a lot of agents, what they struggle with is getting that lead.
Absolutely.
If you get the lead, you can get them under contract and closed. You can negotiate. You can do all of those things for them. But it's the obtaining the lead. Okay. So what made you join Socially Sold in March? I'm so curious.
Well, so just like you were talking about, lead generation was something I had never heard of. I had no idea that that was even a thing before becoming a real estate agent. But it makes a lot of sense when you think about it because, you're not just going to step out and have clients wanting to work with you if there's no way that they find you or find out about you. And so I had kind of been following you for a while on Instagram, and I just was like, you know what? I just feel this calling and this intuitive push to check this out. I just knew that I needed to have a source that felt authentic to me because what I find in my sort of background, just in like working with people for as long as I have, is that people really connect with me as a person. And in real estate, it can be hard for people to see you as a real person and not someone who's just looking to make a sale. And so I wanted to bridge that gap. And I saw that just everything that you were putting out was something that was going to fit who I am and allow me to show myself as myself on Instagram. And I needed direction. I didn't know where to start. So that was
Yeah.
huge.
Isn't it freeing? I feel like just from listening to you and talking to you past and now, we're both very authentic people. Like you couldn't show up as anybody but Karina, even if you tried. And so whenever you're maybe hearing from your old team lead or your broker or something like door knock, cold call, do these things, and you're thinking to yourself, that's a big no for me. I can't do that. And then you see, okay, I can actually show my personality, I can actually show who I am on Instagram and attract people who are going to be ready to work with me and already know who I am, and it's a good fit.
Absolutely.
Sorry, I just about choked. Okay, so since taking the course in March, what does your business feel like? Are you working with clients that are dream clients? Like, walk us through that process a little bit.
They are absolutely dream clients. I am absolutely shocked at just how the people that I'm drawing to me are very similar to me. And I think
Yeah.
it really goes back to, when I was doing the course I really went on a deep dive of identifying who my ideal client was and
Which
really
is so
just,
smart, by the way. That's the
yes.
foundation. Yeah.
Well, and I found in writing everything out, I was like, wait, I am my ideal client. That
Yes.
ideal client is myself who went through
We
this
established that.
experience.
It was like a past version of you. Yeah.
Exactly, exactly, and I knew, it was still fresh enough for me that I had relocated myself that my ideal client is a relocation client that's coming here, a family that's looking to just start a different lifestyle and live a different pace, and so I just found that it was so much easier for me to be able to talk to that ideal client. And what's happened is the people that reach out to me via Instagram are truly people that, like, when I meet them, we hug, which is really
100%.
funny to me, because it's like they're already like, oh, I feel like I know you, or, we know each other, even though we have never really met.
Yep. Well, I think what happens is when a client is willing to reach out on Instagram, they're paying more attention to your Instagram than you think. And so it's not like they're just stalking your every move, but like when you put up a reel of like your new, she focuses on a city called Cary, North Carolina, right outside of Charlotte, correct?
Raleigh.
Raleigh. Sorry, I get
Yeah.
Raleigh and Charlotte confused. And so they're thinking about, moving to Raleigh or to Cary. And she says like, "Oh, this is my favorite sushi restaurant." She's showing like maybe her kids or her on a date night or whatever she's doing in this sushi bar. And then they're like, "When we fly in 2 weeks from now, we meet Karina. We love sushi. Let's just go here too." And so it starts to be this accumulation of like you build this like, know, and trust factor so much quicker because you're giving them all the content that they want and they're going to binge and they're going to find helpful. And so when we think about the past way to do content, it was like the 3 tips for buying a house or like 4 tips to list your house to prep. Those kind of conversations typically, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, those kind of conversations typically come off the app. Once you meet them, they're like, okay, we really like these 2 neighborhoods. Is there one that you would go with over the other? Is there one that has better lender incentives, right? Those are when you're having those conversations, not in your marketing content, correct?
Absolutely. And it's funny that you say that because when I first started with my Instagram, I was definitely posting stuff like that. And, and it was not gaining any kind of traction. It was definitely not attracting my ideal client because realistically, it's like when you're thinking about relocating, you're really wanting to know about the lifestyle. That's the biggest thing, right? Like, can I see myself living in this place and who can show me what it would look like to live there? And so that's anytime that I post any content, it's literally me living my life. And so I'm sharing exactly what I'm doing, which makes it really seamless and easy for me to continue to market to my ideal client.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask you is like how before or after the course? I bet that before the course, your content took you longer and it wasn't effective and it wasn't getting leads. Now I'm assuming your content takes you less time and you're closing way more deals, just showing them your life in Cary.
Absolutely. I didn't have a single lead from Instagram before doing the course. And it was during the course that I started to have people reach out to me. And with relocation, it's kind of a longer game.
Yep.
So it's not, I actually just closed my first Instagram client last week, which is amazing.
Yay!
And they were the most amazing family to work with. Absolutely just precious.
Yes.
I told them everything about them was just so, it was a very seamless process. They reached out to me on a Monday. They got pre-approved by Wednesday. We were under contract by Friday. And I'm not even kidding. It was just
Dream.
exactly. But, and with that though, I have about 4 million in my pipeline from Instagram. And so that are people that are going to be buying within the next like 6 to 9 months. And that's been a huge shift for my business. Huge.
Yes, because a lot of agents, I think, that are listening are like, I don't care to be a top agent. I don't care to sell 100 houses a year. I don't care to be on a billboard. I don't care to have recognition at my brokerage. I just want a good lifestyle and make a good income and help clients. Like, I think that's what a lot of agents, well, I think, in my opinion, good agents should be thinking is like, let me slow down to speed up. Let me help the right people make the right decision in real estate and obviously get compensated for it, but also be able to live my life too. Like, you're not having, I mean, maybe you still do open houses, maybe, I don't know. But like, you see a world where you're not open housing, you're not cold calling, you're not door knocking, you're just posting your life on Instagram and getting dream clients come in. Is that correct?
Absolutely. And yes, I'm not doing open houses.
It's like the dreaded open house when you have an Instagram that's like working for you. You're like, I don't want to do this. This
Right.
isn't going to work for me. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it blows my mind. People will spend 4 hours on a Sunday at an open house, but they won't spend time and money to get into a room to learn how to lead generate on an Instagram app that can work for you 24/7 and really pair you with like-minded people who are dream clients. Okay.
Absolutely.
And when you go back to, you say you have 4 million in your pipeline, what in 9 months are you going to have that you haven't even gotten yet while you're still working those 4 million? And that's what I love about Instagram is like it keeps building and keeps like it's like I tell all my students, I'm like, just wait for the compound interest at that year mark where the opportunities you don't even know are just going to explode. Okay.
Absolutely.
When you think about the course and you think about yourself, what do you think you would tell someone who's on the fence about joining? What do they need to have in themselves? Like you said, you're go-getter. I think I told you this, like, if you're gonna give me the time and you're gonna give me, like, the work ethic, we can do it, but if you're not, don't even do it. And you were like, "No, I'm willing, I'm gonna work, like, I'm gonna I'm one that does the work." And so, also, what would you say were some of your favorite parts inside the course that you really feel like made you lead generate instead of just continuing to post that educational type of content that typically falls flat?
I would say like the first thing with someone who's on the fence is really looking at it as an opportunity to have a lead generation source that really doesn't take that much time. Know that it sounds like, a lot of people find social media very daunting or just, aren't sure like what do I post? What content do I put out there? And of course, there's going to be some things that fall flat, right? That you put out there and no one's really interested, but then there's going to be other things. I had several reels that kind of took off. And you'd be surprised at the things that people were really interested in terms of looking at relocation and even just recording a neighborhood and saying, you're considering neighborhoods. This is one that you might want to move to. So I think really looking at it as taking the opportunity to be able to hone in on that ideal client and learn how to. I mean, there were so many skills that I learned throughout the course, that obviously I won't go into all the details here, but it was just really helpful to learn about just, reels, how often to be posting my content, type of content, really discussing our ideal clients, and then also just getting the ongoing coaching support. The feedback
Yes.
was incredibly valuable. And so just being able to have hot seat coaching, having the opportunity for people to really dissect and look at my content and even just listening to other people, and going through
Yes.
their content because I was learning a lot and also being able to just identify, and give other people ideas while on the calls. So there's just so much that I gained from it. And I, of course, continued like in coaching because I didn't want to stop there, so
Yes.
I want to continue to have the support and help. And I absolutely think it was like worth its weight in gold.
Yeah, 100%. Well, I always say the first commission check, it pays itself back, right? Obviously, and then
Yes.
some. But it's the compound interest of like, I was talking to a girl on my team today who obviously sees the back end of Socially Sold. She sees how much I put into the course. She sees me just pour in. And she's like, I don't understand why every agent isn't seeing this. And I'm like, I think it's because every agent doesn't realize that Instagram is a lifetime lead source that just gets better and better and better and better and better. It's like if you're a hairdresser or even I guess it's kind of different than postpartum because you're only postpartum so often, but like a hairdresser start out and, like, they don't have a ton of clientele, but
Right.
it's that compound effect of, like, if you do their hair good, they're coming back, and they're coming back, and they're coming back, and they're coming back, and the amount of opportunities that I've had just because I've helped clients who they relocated with me and now their mom is, or now their dad is, or now their this is, and you're gonna start to see that too, Karina, is and then you start to get listings because they want your buyer pool because they see your marketing is better than any other agent. And it's those things, it's for the agent who, if you're listening, you're like, I'm motivated, I'm willing, I'll do the work, and I will stay consistent. I mean, this is the best program for you because it's a lifetime lead source that just gets better with time. Like it's like marinating a steak. Steak is just going to get yummier. And it's like, in my opinion, and I know you're going to feel this in your soul, the time is going to pass anyways, you know? And so you might as well be owning your own lead source. You might as well be learning how to get your content out. What I love about your content is that you're not afraid to not necessarily verbatim repeat your content, but you just spin off what already works. And so you test your content, something falls flat, you're like, okay, maybe I won't do that messaging again. Something takes off and you just dive into it. You're like, okay, how am I going to recreate that? We have the Susie bot inside the course. You are still coaching with me even after the program. And so how is Susie helping you in your content? So curious.
So recently, what I've been doing with Susie is sort of sharing with her, the reels that have taken off. And so she's helped me sort of figure out how to do more carousel posts using some of that content and sort of just repurposing it, but in a different way.
Yes.
And so, because a lot of those carousel posts are speaking to my clients that are my followers, and a lot of those followers are my current clients that I have buyer, you know, agency agreements with currently. So it's all super helpful for all of them.
Yeah. So not only in the course do you learn how to have a lifetime lead source, you get while you're in the coaching, you get a bot that's going to help you create your content. You get the branding call that helps you refine and learn your messaging. And like Karina said, Karina did not get on every single coaching call and get hot seated. But what she did do is she got on every single coaching call and she took aspects of other people's hot seats as if they were their own. Sometimes somebody else's hot seat is more powerful than your own because they ask a question you didn't even know you needed the answer to. And so you would have filled your time asking a question that maybe you knew or you wanted the answer to. And then the person who goes after you, it's like, I would never even thought to ask that. But like, I definitely needed to know that. And so I love that you mentioned those two things. I have my questions on my phone today. Was there anything else besides the Susie bot as a resource inside of the course that you felt like was a game changer or a moment, an aha moment you had in the course?
Yes, and this was in the very beginning. So with my relocation guide, so I have a relocation guide that people download, and then we have a follow-up email sequence. And Ashley, you set up this like whole sequence of emails that I never really thought to do through Flowdesk. And one of the biggest ones that I loved was putting in a video of myself, like introducing myself to people. And so I think that that's been game changer, honestly, because the first email that goes out to them after they download is a video of me, saying, hey, I'm Karina. I'm so excited that you're considering relocating, and I'm so excited to work with you. And just so that they can put like a face to the name and see that I'm actually a real person. So there's just so many resources in there that makes it so that, well, first, I'm not starting from scratch and I'm not kind of reinventing the wheel. And, it's one of the things that makes having your business so much easier once you have all of that automation in place and things are kind of working for you when you're not there. Right. So, yeah.
Are you getting leads like that are replying to any of your emails as well as your social media?
Yes.
That's what I thought would be happening. So for
Yes.
any agents listening, Bickley, when you take the socially sold program and you do like Karina and you actually implement all of the resources, you are not only getting leads via social media, but you're also getting leads via email because you have both pipelines automated to like be working for you. And what's really cool is when we think about a consumer point of view, like Karina was a version of herself. If you had an agent who had a free relocation guide and then the first email was a video of them, would you not have felt so connected to them? It would have been a
Exactly. Yeah.
no-brainer. You would have for sure worked with that client or that agent. And that's what we have to do is like cut through the noise on social media and the real estate industry in general and have a value add of why our clients need to work with us. There's a zillion agents out there. They can call somebody on Zillow. But when you have the content that speaks to them and you have the back end funnels and automation that also nurtures them, they're not looking any place else because they're getting that 5-star experience with you from the gate.
Absolutely. And I will say, most people who reach out to me, they're already committed. They're like, I want to work with you. I had one person who did interview me. And then they came back to me and they were like, you know what? We just instantly felt comfortable with you. And they're at a $2 million price point.
So amazing. I was going to ask you
Yeah.
that. Have you upped your price point with Socially Sold? Hey, we're taking a quick pause from the podcast. If you're a realtor and you're listening to this, I know you're probably already hustling on Instagram, posting, maybe even feeling a little stuck or like you're blending in with every other agent in your city. Does that feel like you? If you're tired of chasing cold leads, tired of open houses, and you want Instagram to actually bring you real clients without spending hours a week on content, I want you to join my Instagram for Real Estate Agents Bootcamp. It's $97 for a standard ticket, and you can upgrade to VIP for $147. Highly recommend VIP because you get 5 bonus coaching calls with me before the main training every single day. I'm literally walking you through the exact strategies I use to close 1 to 2 houses a month just from Instagram. No paid ads, no media team, no dancing on camera, just real hyper-local content that feels like you, directed to your dream clients. It's $97. That's all you have to pay to be in a room with me learning Instagram strategies for 5 days. If you're sick of not knowing what to post or who to post to, this is the bootcamp for you. If you want to finally make Instagram your #1 lead source and actually enjoy showing up online, grab the link to join the bootcamp in the show notes and I'll see you inside. All right, back to the episode.
I will say, overall, I have tended to attract clients that are around the million to 1.5 million. And I think most of that is because I am attracting a lot of relocation clients that have a different budget for our area. So it has gone up slightly, but it has kind of stayed in that range.
Okay, so your average price point was a million-ish to begin with, and now it's more like a million, 5.
Yes. I still do have people who are buying in the 600, 700, 800 range, just in between there, but it's definitely gone up.
Yeah, which is so good because when we think about it, I had this guy, I was like saying, I was marketing for something and I had this guy comment on one of my posts and he was like, "Oh, so you're selling less real estate than you used to?" I was like, "Yeah, I am, but I'm making more money in commission. And isn't that what everyone wants to do? Sell less houses to a higher price point, a better, like just a dreamier client. Like that's the goal, in my opinion." It's not that like my team will help anybody. I mean, you have a $400,000 price point, we've got you. But when we go to our marketing efforts, we are going to up our price point on Instagram. I upped it 87% in 1 year. The reason that I did that is because I know that I have 2 kids with a third on the way.
Right.
I have to utilize my time. And if I can find a lead source that I can sell less houses at a higher price point, it's like, of course, I think any agent would be dumb not to look at that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's working smarter, not harder.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so for realtors who are thinking they're like you and they're like, I don't want to narrow in. I don't want to niche down. I'm scared. Like I always say in the course, you probably heard me say this 100 times, when you're speaking to everybody, you really are speaking to no one. And so break down that barrier of them, of like when you started to really dial in your ideal client, what opened up for you?
Well, I mean, you attract the ideal client. So, it's like you're speaking to that one person. If you're speaking to everybody, you're going to end up attracting no one, or they're just not going to be the right fit. And realistically, I knew that just relocation clients are my jam. Like those are my people because I understand them and I understand them from a personal perspective. And so, home buying is an emotional process. Moving across the country is an emotional process. And
Yep.
so, and I've lived it. And so I
Yep.
feel like knowing that I'm able to offer that to people and just be supportive in that way and be able to, comfort them and let them know, hey, your kids are going to be fine. It's more you need to worry about. That sort of thing, like just knowing that you're honing in on the things that they need. And I think in terms of being afraid to niche down, I think, it's really just giving it a chance, giving it a try, like give yourself a time limit or say, I'm going to go hard for 6 months and I'm going to niche into this and you're going to see that it's going to work.
100%. And if you don't know how to, obviously the course will give you the blueprint and the framework. Walk us through what your content looks like. Are your children in your content? How do you feel about your content? The reason that I ask this is because I get the DM all the time. Well, you're 30. It's easy to post content. You're 30. You're young, blah, 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 blah. You told me in the beginning that you had a 20-year previous career. And so I'm assuming you're a couple years older than me. You could get in your head to say, "Oh, I'm not 30 anymore." I don't know, are you 39 or 8 or something like that? You don't have to say your age.
I
But
got it. I will.
yeah, I'm just saying you're a little bit older than me in the sense of like people
Yes.
get in their head. And then how do you make Instagram so authentic when you're not quote unquote 30? I tell my people that message me all the time, I'm like, I have agents in their 50s and their 60s absolutely crushing it. To me, I'll answer this and I'll let you answer it. To me, it's like the willingness to be vulnerable and just be yourself is what people want. But I would love for you to answer that as well.
Absolutely. Well, first of all, you just made my day. I'm 44. So, yes, I had a 20-year
Yeah,
career,
you're all 24.
in social work. And I will say, to be honest, I think like the biggest thing is being able to, like you said, show up and do it. It's really not that hard to learn how to do it. You just have to have the willingness and commitment to do it. And the
Yes.
drive, it's sort of like, and also just really not caring what other people think. And I think that that's really going to be, when I post content out there, and I've even had friends of mine say to me, I don't know how you do it. I don't know how you, and I'm like, because I don't care, because I'm doing this for my children, for myself, for my
100%.
family, and that's my priority. So, for me to show up, and I will say that I do post my kids. I mostly post my youngest. I have two girls. One's 8, the other's 13. My 13-year-old is like, I'm good.
Like, "Mom, hide me. I'm
Yes.
good."
I'm good. And so I have to respect that, but I am a mom and I am doing all of these things. So when we're out and about and, I am taking video clips, and when I go out to dinner, I take video clips when throughout my day, things like that. And sometimes, and even in my stories, I'll post things of like, I don't know, yesterday, my favorite like probiotic drink that I like to drink, and people are all about it, So I think it's really just allowing people to see you, allowing them to get to know you a little bit more, and that makes them feel more connected to you, because it's enabling that connection and authenticity.
Yeah, and what I love about Instagram is that you're creating this connection, this authenticity,
Yeah.
one to many. And so instead of Karina going, okay, locking herself in her office and telling her 8-year-old and 13-year-old, I'll see you in 4 hours. I'm gonna go call 40 people who probably don't even need to buy and sell anyways. She's like, hey, I'm gonna post a reel after we go to this burger shop tonight, and it's gonna get to 2,000 people, and I'm going to have all of my current clients see it, build credibility with them, and then attract more new clients. So I love it. I think what you're doing is amazing. And when you said you're 44, the reason that Karina is having success is because she knows that people relocating across the country to Cary, North Carolina, they don't want a full face, blah, 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 hair and makeup done, fashion model realtor. They just want an everyday real estate agent who's a mom who knows their hurdles and their struggles before they overcome it and has built that credibility, that relationship with them. I think a lot of the times I get the DMs of like, "Oh, it's easy for you. You're this, you're that, you're 30, you're this." It's like actually they just want me to be me. I could be anybody as long as I'm making that connection and creating that rapport and building that trust. That's what they want. And I think honestly, sometimes a more seasoned agent has an easier ability to do that because you've been helping clients for the last 20 years. But Karina said, hey, I've been doing it since 2023, but I do have experience in the social work realm. And so she understands how to work with people. And that is translated really pretty into real estate. What are some tips and tricks or just some pointers that you would give an agent who is on the fence about socially sold? Is it worth it? Why now? All of those questions.
I mean, I think the biggest thing is I would just say just do it. Give yourself the opportunity, but if you're going to do it, go all in. Make sure that you commit to what you're signing up for. And also just I think, just going back to what you were saying before, I think what happens is a lot of people have their own internal barriers that they, in their mind, and that mindset is a big piece of keeping you back, right? So working on mindset is a huge one. So if like you're afraid to get on camera, or which I don't love getting on camera, but I will sure as heck record myself like with some B-roll or doing different things, and I will learn how to do it, because if I can take 10 minutes to do a reel and not spend time door knocking or cold calling, which I will tell you I never did either of those two, then I will always continue to do that. So I would just say working through that mindset and do the course. I mean, just like get out there and just start implementing what you learn.
100%. I did a podcast with Mandy. I think you and Mandy are friends, maybe. Maybe. I don't know. A lot of my socially sold students end up being friends. Maybe y'all were in different cohorts, but I was talking to her and she was like, I treated every single coaching call like a listing appointment. Like I had it priority in my Google Calendar. I didn't miss it. And I thought that was so smart because it was like, when you pay attention, you're going to show up and you're going to actually have the tools to do it. So the people who don't need to join are the people who are going to be flaky and not do it. But if you're willing and you're motivated and your why is bigger, Karina was like, I'll get on social media because my why is bigger. She is making an income that can help her daughters go to college. It can help her daughters take better vacations. It can help buy her daughter her first car, right? Those are the things that we unlock when we up our price point, double our production that you don't even know you're missing out on. And it's not like it's just a money or a profit game. But what Karina is saying is like, if I can post a reel a day in 10 minutes versus going to an open house once a week, and I can sell way more in real estate to help my family provide and give us a better lifestyle, like, why would I not do that? And so, what I want to tell the person listening is like, is your why bigger? Is your why bigger? Your why should always be bigger. It should be motivating you. Okay. Anything else you want to say, Karina? This has been such an amazing conversation.
I'm just so thankful for you, and I'm so thankful for the course and that I had the opportunity to do it. I mean, yeah, thank
You're
you
so
for
sweet.
everything.
I'm so thankful for you. Yeah. When I think about the perfect student, it's Karina. She was like, "What do I need to do?" I was like, "Watch the course, do the coaching." We did it. She's using Susie. She's still working with me in coaching and her business. I mean, next year, I think you could see a $15-20 million year, which you're probably thinking that's crazy. I've just helped so many agents that I know that you don't even know what's out there for you next year, which is going to be so fun.
Yeah,
Can't
I
wait
look
to see
forward
it.
to it.
Yes. Okay. Well, thank you so much for coming on, and we will see you next week on the More Than Real Estate podcast.
Thank you.
Bye. All right, friends, that's it for today. If something hit home or made you think differently, screenshot this episode, share it on Instagram, and tag me at Hey Ashley Walker so I can hype you up. Don't forget to peek at the show notes. I've linked up anything I mentioned and any next steps if you're ready to go deeper. Can't wait to hang out with you again next week, and let's keep building a business and a life that actually feels good. See you next week.